running you. It's time to become the CEO of your business and life. I'm Jen Godet, a business strategist and life coach. I work with overwhelmed business owners who feel stuck in a rut and depleted. I teach you how to stop doing the things that aren't making you money and start prioritizing the things that bring you energy, joy, and lasting impact. I'm a human performance specialist and an international best-selling author. I've helped countless people all over the world to learn the art of saying no, overcome their fear, and maximize their performance. Let's get you to live your best possible reality. Start today and become the CEO of your business and your life.
Broadcasting live from Houston, from the space city to the world, you are watching NowMedia Television.
Hey, welcome to Biz Talk TV. I'm your business guide and host, Michael Rager, here on the NowMedia Television networks. I'm going to tell you, this show today is all about success, and there's a whole bunch of successful things coming. I'm telling you, man, Texas, you better get ready because there's some stuff coming in our next segment you're not going to believe. But, you know, I want to share success and what's going on and why success is important in business owners. You know, what we do is we get out of business, we have a job, we feel we can do it better than the guy that we're hired with, and we come out and we start working, and we work, and we work, and we work, and we get actually, as business owners, we get punched in the face a lot. You know, we move. The thing is, you know, I've been reading a story right now about boxing is we got to get up. And that's what happens with business owners. We get knocked down, we got to get back up, and we got to keep moving forward. And that's what happens. A lot of times, a lot of business owners aren't ready to move forward. And what happens is they stay stagnant and they plateau. So you got to realize when business comes, an opportunity knocks. My mentor, John Maxwell, used to say, when opportunity knocks, that's not the time to prepare. You've got to be prepared for greatness before you ever get in there. I know that's what's going on. Those of you guys that are following me on social media, you see what's going on with the Teach Your Business to Fish, and we're going to be doing tuna trips and all this fun stuff this summer. You're seeing what's going on with Whiteboards of Whiskey and my good friend and partner, Chris Beard in Australia. We got a whole bunch of things going on. But that's what it's about. It's all about success, and just keep going, and get to the point when you're going to be successful, because you just never know when it's going to come. You just never know when that next door you knock on is going to be the one that moves you to $1 million. You know, if you're just sitting there struggling at $100,000 today. So as a business owner, the thing is, you got to make sure every time you're punched, you get back up and you keep going. Nothing can hold you back. You're doing it not just for you, but you're doing it for your family. So one of my friends this morning posted that he's been doing something awesome for like 5 years, and he just left to pursue his dream. And I knew he was going to do it 4 years ago. You could see the greatness in him, but it just had to get to the time that he was ready. And that's what happens, business owners. You need to be ready, and when the opportunity comes, run through that door. Don't walk, run, go out there and kick it in the teeth. I'm Michael Rager, your business guide. We're going to be back here on Biz Talk TV right after this.
If you have the perfect health insurance plan and you don't want to save any money, you might want to stop listening now. However, if you are like the rest of us who know that the #1 cause of bankruptcy is unexpected medical costs due to subpar coverage, you really want to listen closely. Even if you owe 20% of your medical costs for a large claim, like cancer or a bad accident, it will wipe out the wealth you've worked for your entire career. That's why when it comes to choosing health insurance, it's important to get the right coverage for you and your family. I'm April Clark with Clark Health Insurance. My mission and passion is to simplify the process for small business owners, families, and self-employed individuals. Protect your health and start saving money on your insurance today.
Hey, welcome back to Biz Talk TV. I'm your business host and guide, Michael Rager, here on the NowMedia Television Network. I'm so excited. Our next guest, Nick Jimenez, Comcast. He's got a big announcement that's going on. Nick, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, Michael. Thanks for having me on, and I'm excited about this announcement, so appreciate you giving us a chance to talk.
All right, I saw the press release yesterday. Our audience has it. Tell us what's going on with Comcast.
Well, I won't bury the headline for you, Michael. We're investing $100 million here in the great state of Texas to expand our brilliant 10G network into some communities that really want our services. So we're talking about 80,000 plus homes in the greater Houston area that are going to get the opportunity to get connected to Xfinity's advanced network. So we're talking about neighborhoods like Kingwood and Pinehurst, New Caney, Huffman, Prairie View, all the folks that have been clamoring for more opportunities to get online, and we're happy to be there and partner with them on that.
So we focus on businesses here. How is that going to help the local business owners in these areas, and how's it going to help them, affect commerce, make more money, and more importantly, make profit?
Well, everything is online nowadays, right? Obviously healthcare, obviously education. So it's important for our families. It's important for our homes, but it's just as important for our businesses. The businesses that did best during the pandemic were the ones that pivoted, that had online ordering, that had gift cards, that had delivery services. So when you think about Comcast Business and the connectivity that we're providing small businesses, we've got every product that you need. We've got obviously the best class of connectivity options, going all the way up to 10 gig symmetrical services. We've got the best cybersecurity suite to keep your customers, keep your data safe. We even have a new product, or actually it's not even that new, that provides cellular backup, so that even in the instance where you lose power, you can still stay online. So if your restaurant loses power, you can still swipe those cards and serve your customers.
No, that's awesome. So are you guys making this expansion just in Houston, or is this a nationwide thing? And if it's just Houston, how did we get so lucky?
Well, Comcast is expanding everywhere that we can, but let's be clear, Texas is a great place to do business. I was looking at some census data over the last year, or actually between July 2021 and July 2022, Texas added almost 500,000 new residents. That's #1 in the country for population growth. And Texas really is just a great place to do business. So Comcast has been in Texas since the 80s. We got here as fast as we could, and we're not slowing down. We're investing everywhere we can. These communities are asking for our services, and we're meeting that need.
So how do you decide where to go, to the outlying communities? So you started talking about the Woodlands, New Caney, and all those areas. Is this going to be particularly a northern push right now? Are we going north and west? Where's Comcast going to end up taking this, when they fully get done?
Yeah, well, we're following rooftops. So wherever there's growth, we're going to go there. I'm heading tomorrow to Brazoria County. When you think about communities like Angleton and Danbury and Lake Jackson and Clute, these communities are growing really fast and they want the best internet. There's a lot of growth in Montgomery County and Waller County, Fort Bend County, Liberty County. It's hard to keep track of how much growth is happening here in Texas, Michael, because it is everywhere. And we're just doing everything we can to get everywhere at once.
So what other kind of things is Comcast looking at in the future to help, just besides this expansion? Because this expansion is going to take, 3 years is what you're looking at? And then what's going to happen beyond?
Well, we have growth plans. We see the opportunity to grow in Texas over the long term, right? So we have $100 million we're investing in new communities this year alone. I would expect that pace of investment to accelerate to meet the growing demand in Texas. So we certainly have a plan over this year, 5 years, but we see the opportunity accelerating.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What other things should people be looking at when they look to Comcast, not just with the connectivity and the fiber? What other things should business owners and the residents of the communities be looking for from you guys so that you can really help them out?
Yeah, connectivity at this stage of the game is table stakes, right? Everybody wants to have a high-speed internet connection, but at Comcast, we're not just about building a network. We're about building a network and making sure that it serves the community's needs. So if you can't afford the internet, we've been a long-time commitment to digital equity through a program called Internet Essentials. that offers low-income households the opportunity to get online for as little as $9.95 a month. And now there's a program from the federal government called the Affordable Connectivity Program that offers internet for free if you can't afford it. And for our businesses, the connectivity is table stakes. What Wi-Fi are you providing to your customers that come into your place of business? How are you keeping their data safe? What's your resiliency plan? Where are you storing your data off-site? We have solutions for all of that, and it's really important that small business owners be partnered with a company that makes all of that easy, because your focus as a small business owner, as any business owner, is on running your business. It shouldn't be on distractions like making sure you have the right internet, the right cybersecurity. We'll take care of that for you. You focus on making money and serving your community, which is the most important thing.
So if I'm watching this show right now and I want to find out more, where do I go, and how excited should I be to get it, and how soon am I going to get it?
I'm privileged, Michael. I get a chance to go out in these communities and talk to people firsthand, and the excitement is real. These communities want the connectivity. They need it. We're sharing a lot of good news online. We have a website, ComcastTexas.com, where we post lots of good news on there. We're on social media, of course, Twitter at Comcast Texas, Facebook at Comcast. If you're interested in signing up for services as a homeowner, Xfinity.com, as a business, ComcastBusiness.com. But we just want to make sure that we're meeting that community need.
Well, that's awesome, Nick, man. We're really looking forward to it. I know I've been a Comcast user for a long time, and I know here at the station we support you guys, greatly. You guys are a great partner for us, and we're really looking forward to expanding that partnership. Any last words?
Just appreciation for you, Michael. Thanks for having me on. You're doing a great job, and it's a privilege to be here with you.
Well, Nick, thanks a lot. We're looking forward to actually meeting you in person and getting out and doing some things. I see, like I told you before we got on, I see a lot of your sales guys out all the time, and it's all of our networking things we got doing. So we know you guys are out there in the community, and we know you're supporting it. So thanks for all you do.
Appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
All right. I'm Michael Rager, your business guide here on Biz Talk TV. We're going to be back with a little bit more right after this.
According to the FBI, a robbery occurs every 13 seconds. Homes and businesses without a reliable security system are 300% more likely to be burglarized. Alert 360 provides custom-tailored rock-solid security solutions to residential and commercial customers. Whether it's home security, fire and carbon monoxide detection, flood protection, connected senior care, managed video surveillance solutions, 24/7 alarm monitoring, and life safety, Alert 360 is your ideal solution. In addition, Alert 360 has a smart home and business integrations like access control and video shield for a complete peace of mind, protecting what matters the most and reducing energy costs with our top-of-the-line automatic scheduling functions. Alert 360 offers security services discounts to military personnel, veterans, first responders, educators, and hospital personnel. Don't be a victim. Take a strong step today. Call Rosana Torres at 832-863-8574 for your free consultation.
Hi, my name is Elias Basabe, founder of Little Maria's Cafe Restaurant in West Houston, located in 2901 Wilkers Drive, Suite 137, first floor. Here you will find a family-friendly and relaxed environment where you can enjoy a delicious homemade breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We know you need to get to work fast, and we want you to enjoy a tasty, quality, and healthy homemade food. So come and visit us for a great nutritious meal at an affordable price. We specialize in tasty breakfasts, deli sandwiches, fish, even barbecue cookouts. Little Maria's Cafe has it all. We only use the great quality of birds head meats and products. Just like you, we love to get you up early. Little Maria's Cafe is open from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can dine in with us during breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or we can have it ready for you for pickup. Visit us today on the first floor of the CMPC Center at 2901 Wilkers Drive, Suite 137, first floor. Order now at 832-667-8376 Little Maria's Cafe.
Hey, welcome back to Biz Talk TV. I'm your business host and guide, Michael Rager, here on the NowMedia Television Networks. All right, we're here in studio right now, and sitting right over there next to me, Matthew Paul. Matthew, how are you doing today, my friend?
I am well. Thank you, Michael, for having me back in the show.
Hey, all right, so we're going to talk about a topic that's really interesting. And, you know, you handle investing and you handle debt elimination. But let's talk about a different way of investing, and a lot of people want to get into it. Let's talk about real estate.
Absolutely.
What are people, let's talk at the foundation. What's the foundational thing people have to understand about starting to invest in real estate?
Well, you know what, for ages and ages, real estate has been a wonderful tool for investing, and it is one of the best inflation hedge in this country. Now, a lot of people will get so excited, will jump into this without doing the homework, and will get hurt pretty bad. So first you have to decide, are you interested in a single family property, or are you going to be part of a multi-family property? If it's a single family property, then obviously you need to have your down payment, and you have to do all the math to make sure that you have a positive cash flow, making sure that you have enough down payment, and then having some money accounted for incidentals, because guess what? There may be months where the renter may not pay you rent. There may be a roof change, there may be an AC change, there may be phone calls coming, and you don't want to get into a situation where you don't have money to make those payments. So if you are going into a single family route, then you need to have enough money saved and then go and buy a property. I don't believe in 100% cash. I believe in around 30% equity, 25-30% equity at any given point, so that if the bank is a little bit crazy, you still have your property and move forward with it.
Yeah, it is. You know, multi-level versus single property. I did the single property, and you got to be used to. You got to get ready to be a landlord, because that's stressful, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, see, that is very stressful, and it is not for everybody. I just want to let you know that single family property is not for everybody. However, there is this new thing called multifamily property. Now, when multifamily property REITs, that may be good for a lot of people. If you want to invest your money and not get bothered with things like, hey, I don't want anybody calling at 12 o'clock at night to change their bathrooms, or I don't want to get calls changing that they cannot get into the garage because the garage door broke. Things like that, then you may want to consider multifamily property. So one of the things that actually my firm is doing right now is to have a multifamily REIT going on, and we are very confident that it's going to do very well for several reasons. One, if you know anything about what's happening with the student loan crisis, the student loan payments are going to start, at least that's what I believe, sometime end of this year, because I don't think the student loan forgiveness is going forward because of what's happening in Washington. And that is going to add another $400, $500 of payment to an average family. And inflation is at its highest, and the interest rates cannot go way too high, because that will affect the banking, and then the credit crunch is going to happen. With all those reasons, there will be a situation where the people cannot afford houses, and guess where they're going to go? They are going to go into apartments. And in the history of this country, the apartment rent has never come down. It has always gone up. So the apartment rent is going to go up. More people are going to move into apartments, and then there will be a need for a massive apartment complex. So that's why we are a big fan of having multifamily property as part of your investment portfolio.
Yeah, but right now, apartments cost more than mortgages. I mean, I live in the Heights, and I talk to people all the time that are living in apartment complexes near me, and they're paying more for the apartment than I'm paying for my mortgage.
Correct. But again, there is another issue to it, right? Because if you are to own the house, you need to have the credit to have the house. Mm-hmm. You need to make sure that there is a lot of other expenses that comes with it. If you are in an apartment, you are only paying an electricity bill and maybe for internet. Here, in a house, you are going to pay for your water, natural gas, electricity, pest control, you name it. All these bills are going to add. So there will be a situation where more people will get pushed into apartments over time.
I don't know. I'm going to disagree with you there. I think that I'm seeing a lot right now. I know that there's major conglomerates investing in tons and tons and tons of multifamily. I'm talking about 100, 150, 250, 300 doors. And a lot of those are at only 50% vacancy right now. And what I'm seeing a lot of them doing, they're doing VRBO, and they're doing that right now. That Airbnb. And I know a lot of investors that think they can get in and get a house in Airbnb and make a whole bunch of money. Yeah. And I think it's a fantasy.
Yeah, well, Airbnb is a whole different ball game because you're somebody coming in and going out every week, and then you need to make sure that the cleaning happens. You need to make sure that all those repairs happens and stuff like that. So that is not for everybody. Airbnb is not for everybody. Now, when you talk about the multifamily, Michael, we are not going about you buying one. For example, the funds that we are dealing with right now, they have 12,500 units. 12,500 units, and the occupancy right now is 94%. So for those ones, you are just trying to start with a small amount. I mean, I'm talking about $10,000, and then start with a small amount and see how that goes. Put your feet into that one time and see how it goes. And if you like it, go expand it. If you don't like it, get out of it.
Well, yeah, you're going to buy into a REIT like that. I think it's a different type of investment because it's very passive. You as the investor, you're going to put your 10 grand into the REIT, let them go do what they got to do, let everybody else handle what they got to handle, and you're totally out of it. But like I said, if you go into the single family, you're in it, and it sucks, and
Correct.
it can suck.
There is a classic difference between being an investor and being a landlord.
Yeah.
Now, I met with a client, and he said, I want to be a landlord. I want to teach my kids how to use all these equipments. Yeah, well, good. If for them, the single family and owning it outright makes a lot of sense, and I applaud you for doing that. But if you want to be an investor and not a landlord, then you have to consider things like REIT. Now, I just want to say that REITs are not for everybody. There are situations, there are minimum requirements that you need to meet to get there, and so that's why you need to work with the financial advisor and make sure that you are actually qualified to be part of a REIT owner.
Oh, great, man. I love it. You came up with a topic that I think we got to, we were talking about some topics we got to come out, but I think this student loan forgiveness thing, I think it's a joke. It should never happen, $400 million. And it's so discriminatory. If I go start a business, I don't get anything. But if I go get an associate's degree in liberal arts, you're gonna pay off my bill. I think it's ridiculous, and there's no reason that the American people should pay for this. But I think that's a topic we need to talk to in another session.
Well, that is more of a political topic right now than a financial topic at this point, right? And I'm not going to get into the politics of things. Now, for those people who are getting forgiven, I'm happy for them. But for those people who are not getting, who are wasting their money and doing a lot of bad things at the school and not studying, and then the American taxpayers have to pay for it, that's a bad thing. So there is no right or wrong answer on that. However, the reality is that we are going to have a student loan payment starting up in September time frame, and then average family is going to struggle with the high inflation, high interest rate, student loan payments coming in, and I can see the writing on the wall that there will be more defaults on the mortgages that's happening in future.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen too. I think we're going back to where we were, a couple decades ago, and things happen bad. Matthew, how do people get a hold of you, man, friend?
Yeah, so for people to call us, you call our office at 281-435-1888. It's 281-435-1888, and somebody from our office will do the base work, make sure that you can get involved with all these things. And if nothing else, we would like to sit with you and educate you so that you are more powerful with the knowledge that you have. And then we will see how we can help you.
That'd be great, man. Matthew, I love it. I love when you come in. We've had some good discussions all week. We were hanging out together at an event the other day, learning how to another friend of ours who was a financial planner, and we talked and learned about a great thing. That's it. Smart people go out and learn all the time, even if it's from people that are in the same industry that they are, right?
Right. Well, Michael, you know what? You are a product of the 6-7 people that you hang out with.
That's
so
right.
If you hang out with the right people, you will learn more.
That's right. That's right. So Matthew Paul, man, I love it when you're on the show. We're going to talk. Let's get political next time. That'll be fun. I'm Michael Rager, your business guide here on Biz Talk TV on the NowMedia Television networks. We're going to be right back with Mac and Natalia.
According to the FBI, a robbery occurs every 13 seconds. Homes and businesses without a reliable security system are 300% more likely to be burglarized. Alert 360 provides custom-tailored rock-solid security solutions to residential and commercial customers. Whether it's home security, fire and carbon monoxide detection, flood protection, connected senior care, managed video surveillance solutions, 24/7 alarm monitoring, and life safety, Alert 360 is your ideal solution. In addition, Alert 360 has smart home and business integrations like access control and video shield for a complete peace of mind, protecting what matters the most and reducing energy costs with our top-of-the-line automatic scheduling functions. Alert 360 offers security services discounts to military personnel, veterans, first responders, educators, and hospital personnel. Don't be a victim. Take a strong step today. Call Rosana Torres at 832-863-8574 for your free consultation.
Hey, welcome back to Biz Talk TV. I'm your host and guide, Michael Rager, here on the NowMedia Television Network. We got the Biz Talk TV, and we got them live in studio. I'm telling you, we've been seeing Natalia over on Zoom from Poland, but she's here with us. So we got Mac and Natalia. How you two doing today?
Good to see you.
Great, lovely to be here. It's been such an adventure to be doing that from Poland and now being arrived here in Houston. That makes the huge difference. Lovely to meet you, Michael.
It's nice to meet you finally in person. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about international court disputes. So Natalia, you're kind of the expert in international law. What's some of the difficulties that people have when they get into an international dispute?
Oh, thank you for naming it this way. If we think about international law, we sometimes see it the way that like there is a universal law. I think that what makes it really difficult is that when you are dealing with international issues, you need to take into account every single law of every particular jurisdiction you are dealing with. And because we mainly deal, me and Mac, with family law, and this is actually how we met, via an international case, where the lady was first in Poland, but then took the kid back to Houston. And the client the father stayed behind in Poland, and hence the fight started. There will be instances where you'll have to do that via courts. But please remember, mediation is always the key, and let me explain why. Imagine that you really need to employ lawyers in two different countries. The one that actually starts your case, so that explains the things, and the other one in the original jurisdiction where the dispute is going to take place. Imagine the costs, imagine the translation, imagine all the inconvenience of the time difference. Please remember, between Houston and most of Europe, it is 7 hours. That made actually the dispute we had, the client was appearing online for the court at 4 a.m. in his morning. That was really killing for him. Yet, just to give you the taste of what can happen if you really engage yourself in a dispute in the court. This is why mediation should be your primary choice.
So let's talk a little bit about co-mediation and what that means. Mac, how does co-mediation affect both parties here in the U.S. and internationally?
So whenever there's a dispute between parties with an international scope, where one party is in one country and the other one's in another country, like Natalia said, things can become very expensive, and there's a time difference, and there's a language barrier. But suppose the parties agree to go and do a sit-down. We are conflict resolution, professionals, so we want to always help people resolve their disputes amicably, even though they're in two different jurisdictions internationally. Sometimes it helps to have two co-mediators work together to help the parties resolve their disputes. So instead of having just one mediator, it might be more advantageous to have two mediators who are both in the two different countries that are being discussed. So some benefits to that. Well, sometimes there might be cultural differences that need to be addressed with two different individuals who are neutral, sitting in two different jurisdictions to help the parties make peace. Sometimes, in addition to cultural barriers, might be language issues. Sometimes things can get lost in translation, so it may help to have two conflict resolution professionals sit with the parties on Zoom, most likely, to help these two parties who are hundreds of thousands of miles apart help resolve their disputes. I think, Michael, we were talking about some issues internationally that you've had to deal with in the past. Well, if there are two English-speaking countries, that might be okay to use one person. But if it's somebody who has the issue with somebody else in China versus the United States, it may help to have mediators from both lands.
Well, let me ask you this question. How can we prepare before we actually get into an international business agreement to set this up so we don't get into litigation and we can do mediation?
And this is a very good question, because you can prepare in advance. First of all, in any contract that you will be having, you can insert a clause that you are binding yourself to go to mediation. This is a valid clause, and there is a very important point. Nowadays, there is a Singapore Convention, which was recently ratified and is really growing in number, that ensures enforceability of business solutions, business-mediated settlement agreement in mediation to be enforceable worldwide in all the countries that are bound by this convention. So this really makes your mediated settlement agreement something that is an effective tool, like if you were in the court, and let me remind you, in fewer time, with less money, with less engagement of lawyers, with less engagement of paperwork and translation, and you are there and you can enforce it. So this is really a very big deal. It doesn't work the same way for family, so you can prepare for that when you know what's going to happen. For example, again, the things we deal with MAC, international children relocation. This is a very big deal, and for the state as well. You can prepare for that in advance. And again, you can go in and do the mediation before you want to relocate the child to ensure the conditions upon which the other parent sees the child. You can also do that the way that when there is any issue later on, you can come back to mediation and rectify the things that didn't work.
Yeah, I'm going through that right now. I got a business partner in Australia, and we're just preparing. What we say is like, we're great friends and we're buds right now, but if something ever happens, it's we talk about with one of our other guests, David Murphy, business divorce. What we're doing is kind of prenupping right now to how we're going to settle our agreements, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So if two parties are entering into an agreement, they can put into the agreement, like Natalia says, a mediation clause. The most common thing that you typically would see is the arbitration clause that would force the parties to then go to an arbitrator to help them break up amicably or resolve their differences and keep the business interests alive. But look, disputes will come up. It's inevitable whenever you have two different individuals, two different heads trying to cooperate and make common decisions. The issue is, how do you resolve them in a way that's not going to hurt everybody involved? And so what we always suggest is have a lawyer review your contracts, of course, but also consider inputting specific terms that would cause the parties, in the event of disagreement that might throw off the business and cause harm to all parties, in that event, have the parties go and do a sit-down with a third-party neutral. You can even select the neutral, who it's going to be, who you're going to go see before the dispute comes up. Like you said, it's a prenup, basically, for business.
Well, awesome. How do people get a hold of you? If they're going to do some international law and they want to start looking at it, how do they get a hold of you, two of you?
And thank you so much for, again, asking that, because apart from doing our legal work, we also are passionate about mediation. And what we set up is also another website, which is instantmediations.com, where we have a selection of mediators for any single dispute you might have. We welcome you to do mediation with us. Come and contact us. Any dispute you have, we'll help you find a proper mediator for your dispute, whether it will be construction, whether it will be employment, whether it will be family law. Anything can be mediated, and we will be very happy to help you with it.
Yes, and we would like to, of course, give a shout out to the podcast that we have, which is Lawyers and Mediators International podcast. We're on there most weekends. We're talking about these kind of things. So be sure to check out LMI Podcast. It's on YouTube.
Awesome. Love it. So, hey, thanks for that information. And those of you guys that are going to be doing international business, I'm telling you, it's going to be, contracts are really important here in the U.S. They're going to be doubly when you start going into other countries, because just what Mac and Natalia said, it's about the language, it's about culture. There's a whole bunch of things that we just don't understand. We know where we live. We got to understand the people we're doing business. So thanks so much for that. We're going to be right back on more Biz Talk TV right after this.
If you have the perfect health insurance plan and you don't want to save any money, you might want to stop listening now. However, if you are like the rest of us who know that the #1 cause of bankruptcy is unexpected medical costs due to subpar coverage, you really want to listen closely. Even if you owe 20% of your medical costs for a large claim, like cancer or a bad accident, it will wipe out the wealth you've worked for your entire career. That's why when it comes to choosing health insurance, it's important to get the right coverage for you and your family. I'm April Clark with Clark Health Insurance. My mission and passion is to simplify the process for small business owners, families, and self-employed individuals. Protect your health and start saving money on your insurance today.
Hey, Lily says AT&T is giving everyone their best deals.
Minus the air quotes.
Best deals.
No need to wink. Others say they give everyone a deal, but not everyone gets the best deal.
Told you, the best deals are for everyone here, with a choice of plans.
You were right.
Is she always right?
Always.
At AT&T, we give everyone our best deals on every smartphone.
Hey, welcome back to Biz Talk TV with your host and guide, Michael Rager, here on the NowMedia Television Networks. I got my good friend David Murphy with me. David, how you doing today?
I'm well, sir, and you?
I'm good. We got an interesting topic today, man. A little, I think, Hamlet, right? To litigate or not to litigate? That is the question. How do we figure it out, Dave?
Well, there's two sides, obviously, to any fight. The one who picks it and the one who's defending themselves. So I think that's the first place to start is which side of the fist are you on?
So let's say I'm the guy that I want to sue. All right, somebody's done me wrong and I want to sue. What do I got to start looking at to make sure that I have a successful suit?
All right, so whenever we have a client call us to ask us about a potential lawsuit that they want to file, I have to be an entrepreneur first. Business owners is 90% of my business, so we take the consulting part of our practice pretty heavily, pretty seriously. So the question is, what are you fighting over? Is it really a fight that you want to pick? And then you got to start going through the economic questions of, first and foremost, if I'm trying to sue somebody, do they have the money to pay if I win? If I'm suing over a money damages issue, am I just burning good money after bad? That's probably one of the largest questions we ever talk about.
Yeah, I had to go through that a couple of years ago where I was buying a business and things fell through and the company lied, and my lawyer came to me and goes, hey, here's the thing, Mike. We're going to win, but all you're going to get is a plaque to put on your wall that says I won a lawsuit because they've got no money.
Yep. And that's a serious issue. I mean, because if you're going to spend the time, energy, and effort away from your business to something that's not going to make you money, when all three of those things are better suited for engaging in your enterprise, whatever that is, you need to make sure that there's going to be some sort of an outcome. And if you're not dealing with some sort of an insurance policy on the backside, that's going to have some sort of a guarantee of recovery, you got to seriously look at who you're suing. And we generally try to do some sort of background asset checks through agencies that we have contracts with to see, does this person have anything to get to? And if they do have anything, is it judgment proof? Is it exempt property? Because Texas has some pretty strong exemptions for debtors that keep you away from their assets.
Well, let's say we go through that and you go, yep, we can get them. All right, we've got a valid case. They've got stuff. What kind of things can we sue for? I mean, I'm going to pay you a significant amount of fee. Can I get that money back?
Well, and again, so Texas passed some statutes a few years back as it relates to recovery of attorney's fees. And there are certain cases, certain causes of action that you're not going to get a recovery of those attorney's fees. Generally, that's going to fall into those tort categories, and that's an odd legal word, but those are the damages cases that are physical damages. Generally, someone hit you in a car wreck, you've had some sort of physical trauma to your person or to your property. That's generally what falls under a tort. Those things aren't going to be recovered for attorney's fees. However, if you're suing over some sort of breach of contract, like you and talking about the business deal that fell through, a breach of contract does allow for attorney's fees.
Okay.
And so that's one of the things that you need to talk about your attorney with is, what's the cause of actions that we're looking at? Can we get attorney's fees? What's the statute of limitations on those cause of actions? Did I wait too long? Am I now barred from bringing the claim?
Well, let me ask you this. Now, let's say you said, am I the one punching in the face or I'm getting punched? I just got punched in the face. Now somebody's suing me. What do I need to start looking at then to protect myself?
So now you've got a completely different animal. You don't have a decision in this battle. You've been brought into it unwillingly. So now you have to look at what are the claims. Generally, the first thing we're going to do is file just a general denial to get it on record to make sure that you have met your statutory timelines and your process, and you're not going to get a default judgment. And then start evaluating what the claims are. And people don't like to hear this, but the question again is, where are the economics? And can I get to a settlement that makes this shut down and I've got a guaranteed determinable number of what this is going to cost me without regard to whether I'm guilty or have any liability or not? But it's an economic issue. If I can get this settled and avoid the cost of tens of thousands of dollars in court fees and attorney's costs for an unknown outcome, then that's a wise business decision.
So when we look at this suing or getting sued, the most important thing I think from what I'm hearing from you is I got to look at how it's really going to affect me and my business financially and how much time it's going to take me.
Yeah, I mean, you're not in the business of lawsuits.
Right.
That's our job.
Right.
You're in the business of creating whatever your business creates, whether it's a service or a good, and your energy and efforts are more timely focused on those things. And Michael, we haven't even jumped into the personal issues. You know, your business got sued, but now you're stressed out and you're having to fight that. How does that affect your family and your home life? I mean, money is the last thing that we think about personally when we're talking to clients for litigation. Money is the last factor. The other factors I can't replace. I can't get my time back. I can't correct any damage that happened to relationships, whether they're business relationships or familial relationships. I can't get those back. So I try to look at the non-monetary economic costs and figure out, does this make sense for my client?
You know, well, let me ask you this. It seems like a lot of lawsuits start just because of emotion, right? Somebody pissed me off, I'm mad, and I want retribution.
Yes.
And how does, if I hire you and I said, David Murphy's my lawyer, and I come in and I'm just sit at your desk and I'm pissed off, how does that go? How do you go talk me either into it or out of it? How do those discussions go?
Well, it's a bringing people to the facts issue and trying to work with them to get their mind back focused from the frustration, damage, pain, whatever it was that led them to this decision, because it's all about pain points, right? And so trying to get them focused on what it is that they do and away from focusing so hardly on the frustration that's directly in front of them. There are times when someone takes on a case just out of a matter of principle and they feel like they've been wronged and damn the economics. And if that's the case, then we'll do our best to advocate for you, whether it's on the plaintiff or the defendant side. But we're always going to be having you look at what is the balance at the end of this outcome, and is it going to be beneficial for my business and for my family, without regard to the money side of things, again, because you can't get those back, the family, friends, the time, energy, effort. And there are many times when I tell people, look, let's get something settled, or let's not do this, and just say call people bad names in your private time, and let your energy focus on positive things in your business.
That's awesome advice. So, David, if people get to the point and they want to get there and they need a good lawyer like yourself, how do they get a hold of you and your team so that you can help them out and give them the right advice?
Well, thanks, Michael. People can reach us on the phone at 281-475-2022, 281-475-2022, or they can find us on the web at murphyslawpllc.com. Well,
David, man, thanks a lot. I love the information. It's important. Everything we talk about, business divorce and regular divorce, everything we go into this is all emotion. And, it's great to have, somebody on your team that's going to help you take the emotion out and just get to the facts, because facts are what are going to win the case once we get to court, right?
Absolutely.
All right, man. So thanks a lot, David. I really appreciate you. I'm Michael Rager here at Biz Talk TV, here on the NowMedia Television Networks. We'll be back right after this.
I was recently asked what it means to be a family lawyer. What is family law? Family law is not just about divorce or custody or child support. Family law is about your life. As a family lawyer, I protect your children, your wealth, your future. I don't do this alone. As your attorney, we work as a team to determine your goals and priorities and provide a strategy in an often complex, painful, and confusing time. Whether it's asset protection through pre- or post-marital agreements or fighting to protect your children, I'm here to help. My team and I bring decades of combined experience to support you and your family in all aspects of family and wealth planning, from estate and legacy planning to divorce and child custody issues to representation in complex litigation cases. Take a decisive step. We're here when you're ready. Remember, it's about your life.
Working through the legal system is challenging and risky, especially if you don't have the right attorney at your side. Hi, my name is Sonia Aston, and I'm an attorney with over 30 years of experience. I've helped small and medium-sized businesses and business owners to make sure that their legal rights and interests are protected. As general counsel for you and your organization, I can draft and review solid contracts, minimize the risk of litigation, review and prepare comprehensive business succession plans, or help you navigate your company with the local, state, and federal government. Take a decisive step today. I'm here to make sure your legal rights are protected and you have a peace of mind that you deserve.
Hey, welcome back to Biz Talk TV. I'm your business guide and host, Michael Rager, here on the Biz Talk TV show on NowMedia Television. One of my favorite times of the show right now, my buddy Leo Simpson. Leo, how are you today?
Doing well, my man. How about yourself?
I'm great, man. I'm great. You've got a really good topic today because, we got the Final Four in Houston this week, and it's all about winning. All right? So the teams that win big, and life changes. But we're going to talk about winning big in business and how it can really, really affect your family. So before we get deep, let's talk a little bit. How do we win big in business, Leo?
I mean, you know exactly how we do that. We're coaches, we're trainers, we're speakers, and the focus about winning big in business really comes down to the mindset that we have about it. It comes down to the investment that we put into it and the intentionality that we place in regard to making a difference. You know, interestingly, in the management class that I'm teaching at Lone Star Montgomery, one of the things we're talking about is the importance of how we deal with problem solving and also how we deal with decision making. And one of the main things that we are emphasizing, especially because, you know, you and I have that background with the John Maxwell strategies, is that there is a huge difference between leadership and management. So many people deal with management from the perspective that it focuses on, you know, getting things done. It is, but it's getting things done through people. And what I've made sure to communicate to my teammates, that's what I call them, not students, because of the context that we're approaching this term. And that is that management deals with processes and things, and it deals with force, right? But leadership, it deals with people and thoughts, and it's dealing in the level or the arena of finesse. Now, I say all of that to convey that when we win big in business, we do so because we are strategic, we're intentional, we're focused, we're very methodical, we invest in our learning, we invest in our systems, we invest in our tools. You know, our measures are important. Our mechanics are important. We seek to create momentum. Like, that's how we win big in business. And we do so with a very defined approach. And so when it comes to those who really want to make it happen in business, you got to do so with that which is predictably productive all the time. And, you know, people always have that saying that success leaves clues. It does. And guess what? If success leaves clues, we got to know it does not just in business, it does in other areas too.
So how do we take that success in business and take it into the family? You know, because, you know, as we talk all the time, Leo, people think that, you know, if we're going to be successful in business, it means we're really busy, we're missing out on stuff. And that's why people hire people like me and you to help them get back into the family. So how do we take those big wins and take them home?
You know, we've talked about this over the last few weeks, and two things that I've shared. One, that family life and business life are meant to be teammates, which that starts at the level of how you think about it. And when it comes to winning big in business, it's how you think about it that helps you to win big. And so the first thing you have to do is translate, that's that big word, we'll come back to it later, translate the perspective and the approach that you are utilizing in business to the family life. And it starts with having the right perspective of they are meant to be teammates, not opponents. The other thing is, it's important to understand that business requires more time than family life. Family life requires more of a quality of time than quantity, and vice versa with regard to the aspects of business life. It's not the exact same, but there is one thing that it requires more, which is time, a quantity of it, more than a quality of it. And so you got to know how to deal with it systematically, strategically. And when you do that, you put yourself in a position to be able to understand and pursue value from both. And I think a lot of times what happens is people, they think that family life is kind of just stripping the value from their life rather than it really providing value, because they tend to feel like, you know, business life is just funding family life, or it's just, you know, kind of getting in the way or imposing. Some people think like that, not all. But there's the tendency to really not really know how to mesh well between the two because of how one thinks about them. We think about business from a very, again, intentional and strategic perspective. We need to do the same with family, and it starts with understanding the way we intentionally approach business. Hey, we can also intentionally approach family that way.
Well, I love it. So what's a strategy that we can use to leverage the two? You know, how do we take a strategy from business and move it to family and vice versa to really make things get the way we want it to be?
Absolutely. You heard me use that word, translate. So
I knew that was coming back.
Look at it. Say again?
I knew that word was coming back.
It was going to come back. You got to translate. You know, you got someone who speaks Spanish. You got someone who speaks English. Guess what? You got to translate between the two. Once you get an even playing field of clarity and understanding between the communication, now everybody's on the same page. And when it comes to business life, the way we win, the approach we take to winning, the thought process we have about winning, you translate that to the family. At a minimum, go in saying, I'm going to win. I said this, I think, last time. I said too many people, they go to work expecting to win, but they go back home or they leave home with a losing perspective. That just should not be. So you got to start with saying, hey, I plan on being great at home. I plan on winning at home. Matter of fact, I plan on winning big at home. And the way you do that is starting with that perspective of saying, let me translate the focus and commitment that I have over here to over here. Even though there's some different dynamics, let me give the same approach, commitment, perspective. And when I do so, I'm going to be in a position to where I can literally begin to see the emergence of excellence. Hey, at a minimum, if I believe I'm going to win, guess what? You put yourself on the trajectory to win.
Yeah, it's one of my mentors, Brad Sugars, at the time when I worked for him. He used to have this mantra. When we came into the office, we had to sit there and read it out on our balcony out loud about that put our mind in the right place that we're at work. And we're at work to do what we can do to be great at work. But then we also had another one that when we left and once we got in our car to leave, we had to leave this one and say, hey, I'm leaving work behind me, and now I'm going home to be the greatest person I can be at home. So I think those are some great strategies. So, Leo, if people want to get a hold of you and learn some more of these things, how do they get a hold of you, my friend?
Team3l.com. Very easy. You'll be able to get to all my social media, see what we're doing, be able to connect with some of our activities that we've already done and getting ready to do. More than anything, you'll be able to get some value to understand that family life and business life are able to operate in tandem with each other and be able to win big. I said this yesterday on a post I did on my Instagram. I said, listen, I'm going to give you $10 million. Do you want it? Okay, great. Here's what you need to do, though. Decide not to wake up tomorrow. You got to agree not to wake up tomorrow any other day. And guess what? Most people are going to reject that $10 million. Why? Because they know that just waking up, I'm not even talking about having life holistically, just waking up is more valuable than any amount of money. Well, it's the same thing. When it comes to our family life is so valuable, but we will give our best effort to the very focus of our business life and professional life and not give an ounce in some regards of greatness and commitment to winning like we do over there. If you do that, it will change the game, and that's what we want people to experience.
All right, brother, man. I love it. I love it. I love every week when we get a chance to talk. I'll talk to you soon, Leo. This is Michael Rager, your business guide here on NowMedia Television. We're going to be back with a little bit more about winning and winning in life and business right after this.
Hey, Lily says AT&T's giving everyone their best deals.
Minus the air quotes.
Best deals.
No need to wink. Others say they give everyone a deal, but not everyone gets the best deal.
Told you, the best deals are for everyone here, with a choice of plans.
You were right.
Is she always right?
Always.
At AT&T, we give everyone our best deals on every smartphone.
Are you ready to talk about all things real estate? Hi, I'm Michelle Briggs, the host of Your Person Real Estate. Join me every Thursday at 5 p.m. and discover everything you should know about the real estate world.
Hey everybody, this is Michael Rager, your business guide. And thanks a lot for hanging around on this episode. I'm telling you, we started talking about success and what do we got to do and how to be excited about it. This is a business. This is what we're into. We want to grow things and see how they grow and help our business grow. One of the things I do is something called Whiteboards and Whiskey. I was out at an event last night with a whole bunch of veterans and we're talking about they go, what is this whiteboards and whiskey? And I said, hey, I was at a time I was working in the oil and gas industry. I was making great money, but I had to figure out how do I go do something that I really enjoy? And I had to figure out how to get paid to do 3 of the most exciting things that I do is go fishing, where Teach Your Business to Fish comes from, smoke cigars, and drink whiskey. That's what it's all about. So if you're here in the Houston area and you want to come out, the first Wednesday of every month, we hold a whiteboards event. There is a charge. You see there, you got to grab your ticket to come with us. But what it is this business owners sitting down and we're talking about the #1 challenge that they're having in business right now. and how do we solve it? And have the other business owners in the room help them. So I'm telling you, you got to go out and look for things. One of the things I talked about early on was, when opportunity knocks, it's too late to prepare. As a business owner, you've got to prepare. You've got to prepare. You've got to prepare. We heard it from David talking about, do we litigate or not? We heard it from Mac and Natalia, if we're going overseas and we're going to do business. How do we do it the right way? Litigation's expensive. Mediation isn't cheap, but it's sure a heck of a lot cheaper than litigation. You got to prepare for what you're doing for success in business and in case things go wrong, because you, the business owner, the job is to keep the most of your money so you can live and have the life you want to live. I'm Michael Rager, your business guide. We'll be back. Looking forward to seeing you next week right here on NowMedia Television.
This has been a NowMedia Television feature presentation. All rights reserved.
Hoy en Tecnocasters, Apple recomienda a todos sus usuarios actualizar todos sus dispositivos. Les decimos por qué. Además, ya empezaron los primeros problemas con el Android 13. En el mundo de las redes sociales, cómo afectan los cambios de Instagram a los pequeños